The movie begins with a little girl named Ida being startled out of sleep by her disabled sister's humming. Making sure her mother Henriette doesn't see, she pinches her sister Anna, but she doesn't respond in any way. The family of 4 is moving to a peaceful suburb for the summer holidays. After they arrive at their new home, Ida wanders around and notices a boy watching her from across the lake. That night, Henriette reminds Ida to be kind to her sister, as she has a hard time getting used to new things. She then tells her mother that she wants to go on a vacation, leaving Anna with their father, but Henriette tells her that they cannot, due to her father's new job. The next day, Ida meets Ben, the boy from earlier, while she is exploring the neighborhood, and they soon become friends. Ben takes her away from the playground, leading into a small forest nearby, where he shows her his treehouse. He also shows his telekinetic abilities by redirecting the trajectory of a bottle cap with his mind. Ida is thrilled, and later tells her parents about Ben and his abilities. However, her parents naturally don't take her words seriously, and instead warn her about the risks of slingshots. Later, Ida changes into her football shirt and heads to the playing field, only to find it empty. Disappointed, she goes home and overhears her mother spending time and attempting to teach Anna. Ida feels envious that Anna is the center of their parents' attention. As a result, she fills Anna's shoes with glass fragments out of jealousy. Yet, when Anna puts them on, she shows no signs of distress. On the other hand, Aisha, a small child in the same neighborhood, puts on her shoes to go somewhere with her mother, but she is shocked to see her socks covered in blood before it suddenly disappears. A while later, Ida's parents are speaking with a therapist while Ida watches from a distance. Just then, Anna impulsively stands up and begins stamping her feet. Back at home, when her mother takes off her shoes, she finally discovers blood on Anna's foot. Next, as Aisha is searching for her missing cat, she sneaks inside another building. While she's looking for her cat, a strange noise catches her attention. Just when she is about to leave the building, she sees a door at the end of the stairs moving. Curious, she places her hand on the doorknob that Anna is holding on the other side. At that moment, she experiences an unsettling connection that develops into telepathy. That night, Aisha is still processing what happened to her earlier. She always prayed before going to bed every night, but today was different. She decides to just listen. After her mother leaves and she's alone in a room, she begins hearing voices from the other apartments. Next, we see Ida watching over Anna outside their house. Just then, 2 girls passing by make fun of Anna for her disability. Ida explains to Ben that her sister has a mental disorder, hence she is not receptive. They alternately pinch Anna's hand to get a reaction, but Anna remains motionless. The duo then decide to play football, leaving Anna alone in the playground. Once they reach the football field, Ben is tormented by the older kids when he plays with their ball, while Ida watches hopelessly from a distance. Meanwhile, Aisha discovers Anna in the swing and sits with her while offering company. At the same time, Ben finds Aisha's cat Jabba near the woods. They take the cat up the stairs and drop it down a flight of stairs to see if the cat will land on its feet or not. When they go down to check on the cat, it's nowhere to be found. Ida and Ben then start searching for the cat, only to find it motionless in the basement. Ben first appears to be upset by the animal not moving, but when it does move, he realizes that the cat is now disabled. To end its suffering, Ben stomps on the little creature's head, ultimately killing it. Ida now senses an odd feeling and returns to her sister on the playground. Ida left Anna at the swing set, but she is nowhere to be seen. Her heart sinks when she cannot find her sister. Worried, she looks around the playground and finally finds Anna playing with Aisha, who appears to understand what Anna is thinking. Having too much in her mind, Ida tries to take Anna back home, but she denies going with her. Anna won't move when Ida tries to take her back home and is clearly irritated. Therefore, Anna is guided home by Aisha. The next day, Ida brings Anna to Aisha, as promised, so they can play together. In the meantime, Ida looks for the cat in the basement and realizes that its body is missing. Curious to find out where it has gone, she follows its trail of blood. Soon enough, she locates the cat with a cable tied around its waist. Next, Ida returns to the playground to find Ben playing with Anna and Aisha. Initially, Ida is uncomfortable that Anna is making friends and asks her to go home, but for some reason, Anna seems to be in her element with Ben. In his presence, Anna is able to control objects with her mind, just like Ben. As things get interesting, Ben shows them his abilities. He urges Aisha to try as well, but she accepts the fact that she can't do it. However, Aisha has a different power. She is able to understand Anna and also mentions that she sometimes hears Ben while he is home. When asked what she hears from Ben, she refuses to share, as she senses Ben wouldn't want it. Next, the kids test if Ben has Aisha's abilities and keep a distance of a few stories between them. Ben can hear what Ida whispers in Aisha's ear, but when Ida whispers to Anna, he does not hear. As they try again, rather than focusing on Ida and Anna, he focuses on Aisha. This way, he is able to hear Ida's voice. But after they return home, Anna is unable to do so. Aisha admits that although she is powerless to move things like Ben and Anna, she is still able to telepathically converse with Anna, and, to a lesser degree, sense Ben's thoughts. They begin to test their notion by telepathically communicating with one another in order to assess each other's abilities. Ben can read Aisha's thoughts to read Anna's thoughts, which he cannot read directly. However, Ida realizes that she is lacking in all of these skills. Next, Aisha communicates telepathically with Anna to draw a shark accurately on her drawing board, even though the two girls are in their own houses. Meanwhile, Ben's mother demands angrily that he explain the mess he's created in the apartment, but he ignores her. Later that evening, Aisha's mother notices her staring aimlessly at the window. She shakes Aisha awake and snaps her out of that state. She claims that someone else is in the house, but her mother convinces her that it is only the TV. The following day, the group carries out more experiments by exchanging thoughts over longer distances. Ida whispers, "Ben is a piece of shit," into Anna's ear, and Aisha hears it from afar, calls out the phrase, and laughs uncontrollably. However, Aisha gets pushed to the ground telepathically when Ben becomes angry. He then throws a rock at Ida, who narrowly evades the hit. Then, Ben and Anna begin to battle mentally, breaking a nearby tree branch in an effort to intimidate one another. Ben tries to touch Anna's leg wound caused by a splinter, even though she isn't crying aloud. Aisha tells him that she is hurting her and drives him away. In the midst of it all, Ida is taken aback when Anna begins speaking verbally after Aisha encourages her to do so. When the sisters return home, their mother holds Ida accountable for Anna's injuries. After a while, the mother apologizes and kindly inquires as to what happened, assuring that she won't become furious. Although Ida claims that Anna can speak, her mother doesn't believe her. She then tries to encourage Anna into speaking in front of her mother, while Aisha tries to help Anna telepathically. But Anna feels afraid and doesn't speak, which enrages her mother even more. When her mother tells Ida she can no longer watch Anna, Ida storms away in a rage. Meanwhile, in Ben's apartment, as his mother is preparing dinner, he amusingly pushes a boiling pot on the burner, causing it to burn his mother's finger. As his mother starts to scold him for laughing, Ben moves a heavy iron pan from the shelf and hits her on the head, gravely hurting her. On the other hand, Aisha's mother begins to bleed from the same spot as Ben's mother. Since the bleeding was not subjected to Aisha's mother in any kind, she is unaware of the bleeding, even when Aisha points it out. Interestingly, Anna also has the same spot at the same time. Back at Ben's apartment, he spills the boiling saucepan on his mother's legs, instantly causing burns to appear on her skin. For a while, when he clumsily tries to help his mother, the realization of what he has done hits his mind. However, that feeling of regret quickly fades as he allows the dying woman to continue laying on the ground and ignores her screams. The following day, Anna's mother takes her to the playground. Ida goes to see Ben at his home, but he doesn't respond. While watching Anna and Aisha play, Anna's mother observes that Anna is actually talking and walks up to them with excitement. Seeing Anna speak, her mother breaks out in tears. When they reach back home, Anna responds to her parents with the help of Aisha's words. When Ben eventually comes out, he notices the older kids who had earlier tormented him and turns around to avoid them. When he gets back to his flat, he attempts to check in the fridge for some food, but can't find any. Ben is living a seemingly normal life while his mother's dead body is lying in the kitchen. At that moment, he comes to the realization that he can use his thoughts to control other people's bodies. Next, Ben begins to use his abilities to exact revenge on those who have wronged him. He makes a snap decision to get revenge on the boy who had previously bullied him. He seizes control of a nearby middle-aged man and leads the boy to a bridge where he is stoned to death. The next day, Ida overhears her parents discussing the event on the bridge. Meanwhile, Aisha's mother forbids her from going outside. After some time, Ida encounters Ben while she is out playing by herself. Ben claims to her that he has the ability to control people mentally. When Ida asks if he can do it with her, Ben agrees. Soon after, Ben tries his best to take control of her thoughts, eventually forcing her to release the branch she was holding and making her climb the fridge. Ben also has no difficulty breaking the branch Ida is holding. After a while, the two then head to the playground, where Ben uses his abilities to break a kid's leg. Anxious and restless, Anna senses Ben's wrongdoings. Just then, Aisha arrives at the scene to stop Ben from hurting people, but he begins to mentally strangle her. In order to stop him from harming Aisha, Ida pushes him. Anna follows shortly after, and when Ben sees her, he becomes scared and leaves the place. Soon, Anna's mother arrives to pick her up since she ran outside unsupervised. When he gets home, Ben is upset about his wrongdoing, but the feeling quickly fades and he now becomes utterly vengeful. Through Anna, Aisha informs Ida that Ben will try to put them in danger by sending other people after them. So, Aisha asks for their help to stop Ben's evil deeds. Now, to prepare for action against Ben, Aisha tries to get Ida and Anna out of the house, but their mother restricts them from leaving the house again. That evening, Ben seizes control of Aisha's mother in an effort to eliminate Aisha. The mother fearfully checks the noise with a sharp knife in her hand as everything around her darkens and dims as she is taken over by Ben. When Aisha begins to feel terrified, she calls out to Anna. However, Anna is unable to help because her parents have not allowed her to go out. Also, she is unable to warn anybody of the risk because Aisha no longer has control over her. Meanwhile, Aisha's mother turns as she hears another murmur coming from behind her to see Aisha with her toy bunny. The terrified mother approaches Aisha and stabs her own daughter to death. Later, when Aisha's mother regains consciousness, she discovers Aisha's bloodied body and panics. After Aisha's death, Anna feels depressed and withdrawn. She is unable to express herself without Aisha's help. These events terrified Ida, and she is scared about the fate of her family. After seeing Aisha's tombstone, Anna asks her father whether they would do something similar with her and Ida. Despite her father's reassurances, she is worried that Ben will try to hurt them as well. Some days later, Ida decides impulsively to meet Ben with a plan in her mind. She invites him to play with a new toy airplane after stealing money from her father and lures Ben to the bridge. She then pushes Ben down the same bridge where the teenager had been killed, despite a witness being present to see the entire incident. Meanwhile, Ida is trapped in her worst nightmares by Ben. When he gains access to her mental processes, he convinces her to travel down a busy road while she is confined in a hallucinatory nightmare. The pain in her hand, however, distracts her at the last second, allowing her to jump away from the car, only injuring her and breaking her leg. When their mother asks what happened, she replies that she and her friend were just playing when she accidentally pushed her down. She also finds out from her mother that Ben had only suffered minor injuries and had run away from the accident spot. When Ida returns back from the hospital, she sees Ben roaming around the neighborhood. She then locks herself in a bathroom after seeing her mother grabbing a knife in the kitchen because she's afraid of being killed by Ben's mind control. Soon, her mother leaves the house suspiciously, saying she wants to get some groceries. When Ida comes out from hiding, she realizes Anna is also missing. Next, Anna goes towards the playground, following Ben, while Ida rushes out and begins tearing the plaster off her leg. Since the holidays have begun, the neighborhood is now crowded with kids and their parents. Anna and Ben are now facing each other, although from opposite shores of a large body of water. Ben seems to strike first, sending big water waves in Anna's direction as she falls to the ground. But he begins to back away as Anna stands up and appears to initiate her attack, which the boy tries to mentally fight against. Ultimately, Ben gets attacked and collapses on a swing while clutching his chest as infants start crying all over the playground. When Ida finally succeeds in breaking the cast around her leg, she meets her sister on the lakeside and joins hands with her, as if they're doubling their attack against Ben. Ben appears to be dead, with a brief explosion of released energy dispersing objects and other children around his body. Soon, when the two sisters get back to their house, their father informs them that an ambulance has arrived to treat a child who appears to have passed away at the playground. The movie then fades to darkness as Anna returns to her drawing board.